Hey friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this literally does not work. It's about 12 degrees out here, but at least the wind's not whipping, so it doesn't feel quite as bad as it did earlier. And of course, the fire definitely helps. But I gotta tell you, I miss that extra 25 pounds of fat because that used to help keep my behind warm, so I'm not quite as warm as I used to be. Just got finished with my live stream, and thank everybody who comes in there and supports the channel with the comments and everything else in the super chats. Oh my God, the super chats! You guys have been incredible. Um, Unfortunately for us, it's the off season, but the off season is where you start to build momentum for the next year, and that's where I'm working hard now to get ready for next year. We're going to actually have some things that are going to be really, really cool. Barry from Cowboys Experience, who basically sells cowboy dreams. They have tour packages and stuff, and we're talking about actually having a Joe Boo Sports Report take over Dallas trip. That we're going to be having packages where we go to the game, where we have a block of seats and everything else, and we make it a big party, autograph signings and meet and greets and things like that. And it'll be freaking fantastic. I can't wait. Can't wait to do some of these things. And I'm working on, I'm going to be changing the studio here, where we're going to be able to do more things, where we'll be able to have a second locker there. We'll be able to actually have another monitor, so that way we'll be able to Skype in. So like, let's say by draft time we want to have like a round table discussion about draft prospects and stuff like that. We can have like three of us, like we're sitting there in the room remotely, and things in there. Or we can have discussions where I can moderate and have, two people with difference of opinions and things, kind of like what they do with Around the Horn. So I'm excited about all those kinds of things. But I was sitting here thinking, and it hit me, because I like to think that my mind is always moving and trying to come up with different scenarios and solutions to problems. But it hit me today with the whole Kellen Moore thing, because what I believe is happening, and like I said, I don't know for sure, this is just my conclusion. I think Stephen Jones was really pissed off about Jason Garrett basically being happy about where we finished the season. And I think that Stephen Jones all of a sudden kind of said, wait a minute, you know what? It's time for you to put up or shut up. We're going to get Scott Linehan out here, get the fall guy. You're going to be the one that's going to call the plays, and this team's either going to sink or swim, and it's either going to be you or the highway. And that's why they moved Kellen Moore to offensive coordinator, so it will be Jason Garrett calling the plays. And I don't think that he's quite ready. I'm sure he knows a lot, and I'm sure he can probably do better than Scott Linehan. But I figured they figure if we bring in John Kitna to work with Dak as opposed to Kellen Moore, that he'll know the mechanics better. I believe that Mark Sanchez talking in Dak's ear was the one that really helped him more than Tony Romo. And I'm not trying to take credit away from Tony Romo, but you always saw butt fumbles, especially early in the season there while Tony Romo was rehabbing. And so I think that's the dynamics right here. It's time to say, Jason Garrett, it's time for you to do that. And the other reason I say that is because when you looked at Kris Richard, I'm sorry, you can't tell me that some of these guys that were hired as head coaches are better than what Kris Richard, worth taking a chance on a Kris Richard. Adam Gase, come on. He just got fired in Miami after not busting a grape and immediately gets hired by the Jets? Are you kidding me? There was nothing in his resume that said that that's the guy that we got to go out and get. But I think there's some kind of a deal in the works there that Kris Richard is the guy in waiting. Because when the Cowboys got rid of Dez Bryant, they didn't have anybody who was ready to take over. And that was a mistake that they looked at and said, we screwed up. We got lucky we got Amari Cooper. But the thing the Dallas Cowboys like to do is they like to hire from within. And I think they went to Kris Richard and said, look, buddy, just tough us out a little bit longer. You are the guy to replace Jason Garrett. And Jason Garrett, you got to put up or shut up or Kris Richard's going to take over. And I think that is actually the plan, because I think the Dallas Cowboys don't fire Jason Garrett unless they know who they're going to have to replace him. Wouldn't be the first time somebody said I was crazy. But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, because we heard about people wanting Kris Richard, and all of a sudden, it went silent. In the same way that it did with Will McClay, because Will McClay was a guy that people wanted for GM, but somehow Jerry Jones has got it set up that Will McClay's not even taking interviews. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But hey, it's just speculation on my part. What do I know? I know it's cold out here. So, with that being said, it's time to turn out the lights. The party's over. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning.